Greetings, mortals. Tonight we journey deep into the haunted forests, where shadows whisper and the trees remember. This is Into the Woods, Volume 3.
Our journey begins with John Edward Robinson, a man whose seemingly ordinary facade concealed a monstrous reality. Born on December 27, 1943, in Cicero, Illinois, Robinson's early life was marked by a blend of mediocrity and ambition. The third of 5 children, he was raised in a stable, middle-class environment. Despite an unremarkable academic record, Robinson harbored aspirations of significance and influence. In 1964, Robinson married Nancy Jo Lynch, and together they had 4 children. To the outside world, he was a devoted family man, but beneath this veneer lay a labyrinth of deceit. Robinson's professional life was a patchwork of failed ventures and fraudulent schemes, from embezzlement to forgery. His criminal repertoire expanded as he sought to finance his grandiose ambitions. The advent of the internet in the mid-1990s provided Robinson with a new hunting ground. Adopting the moniker Slave Master, he frequented online BDSM chat rooms, preying on vulnerable women with promises of employment, adventure, and a better life. His manipulative prowess allowed him to exploit the anonymity of the digital realm, ensnaring victims with a carefully crafted web of lies. Robinson's descent into murder began with Paula Guyleen Godfrey, a 19-year-old aspiring businesswoman. In 1984, he offered her a position within his fraudulent company, Equi Second. Paula informed her family of a planned trip to San Antonio for training, arranged by Robinson. After she vanished, her parents received a typewritten letter, purportedly from Paula, expressing gratitude towards Robinson and stating her desire for solitude. Despite the suspicious circumstances, no further investigation ensued, and Paula's fate remains a mystery. Lisa Stasi's story is equally harrowing. At 19, she was a young mother seeking stability for herself and her 4-month-old daughter, Tiffany. In 1985, Robinson, under the alias John Osborne, extended an offer of assistance through a fabricated program aimed at helping single mothers. Lisa and Tiffany were last seen checking into a motel room paid for by Robinson. Shortly thereafter, Lisa disappeared without a trace. Unbeknownst to her family, Robinson had orchestrated the illegal adoption of Tiffany, presenting her to his brother and sister-in-law as the offspring of a deceased woman. It wasn't until years later that Tiffany's true identity was uncovered through DNA testing. Robinson's murderous spree continued with a series of women, each lured by his false promises. Catherine Clampett, 27, left her family in Texas for a job opportunity with Robinson in Kansas City in 1987. She was never seen again. Beverly Bonner, a 49-year-old prison librarian, left her husband to work for Robinson after his release from incarceration in 1994. Her family lost contact with her, and Robinson continued to cash her alimony checks. Sheila Faith, 45, and her 15-year-old daughter, Debbie, who used a wheelchair due to spina bifida, moved from California to Kansas City in 1994 under the pretense of Robinson's financial support and job offers. They vanished upon arrival, while Robinson collected Sheila's pension checks for years. Isabella Lewicka, a 21-year-old Polish immigrant and art student, became romantically involved with Robinson in 1999. She believed they were married, though no official records exist. Isabella disappeared that same year. Suzette Truton, a 27-year-old nurse, moved from Michigan to Kansas in 2000 to travel with Robinson as his submissive partner. Her family received uncharacteristic letters postmarked from Kansas City before losing all contact. Robinson's reign of terror unraveled in June 2000 when a woman accused him of sexual battery and another reported the theft of her personal belongings. These complaints provided authorities with the probable cause needed to search his farm near La Cygne, Kansas. What they discovered was a scene of unimaginable horror. The decomposing bodies of Isabella Lewica and Suzette Troughton, each sealed within 85-pound chemical drums. Further investigations led to a storage facility in Missouri, where 3 additional barrels contained the remains of Beverly Bonner, Sheila Faith, and Debbie Faith. Each victim had succumbed to blunt force trauma. In 2002, Robinson stood trial in Kansas for the murders of Troughton, Lewica, and Stasi, alongside multiple lesser charges. The trial, the longest criminal proceeding in Kansas history, culminated in convictions on all counts. Robinson received the death penalty for the murders of Troughton and Lewica and a life sentence for Stasi's murder, as it occurred before Kansas reinstated capital punishment. Subsequent proceedings in Missouri resulted in additional life sentences after Robinson pleaded guilty to 5 more murders. Today, he remains on death row, his name etched into history as the first known serial killer to exploit the internet to ensnare his victims. While Robinson's case is a stark example of the internet's potential for malevolence, it is but one facet of the vast and complex world of cybercrime. The digital age has given rise to forums and communities where illicit activities thrive, shielded by the anonymity of the online realm. These cybercrime forums serve as marketplaces and information hubs for a myriad of illegal endeavors. From the trade of stolen data and financial information to the sale of malicious software and hacking tools, these platforms facilitate a global network of cybercriminals. The decentralized and encrypted nature of these forums poses significant challenges for law enforcement agencies striving to combat digital crime. Real-world incidents underscore the profound impact of cybercrime. The 2014 Sony Pictures Hack. In 2014, the Sony Pictures Hack rocked the entertainment industry. A group calling itself the Guardians of Peace leaked confidential data, unreleased films, and sensitive employee information. The US government later attributed the attack to North Korea, citing retaliation over the satirical film The Interview. It was a turning point, a cybercrime that wasn't just about data or money, but politics and ideology. In 2017, the WannaCry ransomware attack infected hundreds of thousands of computers across 150 countries. It paralyzed the UK's National Health Service, forcing hospitals to cancel appointments and divert patients. The ransomware exploited a vulnerability leaked from NSA files, showing just how fragile our digital infrastructure can be when government tools fall into the wrong hands. These attacks don't originate in a vacuum. Online cybercrime forums, some hidden on the dark web, others operating in plain sight, function as black markets for exploits, leaked data, and criminal collaboration. Darkoda, once considered the most sophisticated English-speaking hacking forum, was taken down in a multinational raid in 2015. Yet for every forum shut down, another rises in its place, often more encrypted and decentralized than the last. From stolen credit card dumps to murder-for-hire scams, these digital back alleys echo the same manipulative tactics used by predators like Robinson. Whether it's exploiting trust, anonymity, or technological blind spots, the internet, unregulated in its deepest layers, remains a tool for both liberation and exploitation. Our final story tonight isn't one of verifiable crime, but one of folklore, digital urban legend, born in the analog shadows of the arcade era. It's the story of Polybius. In early 1981, word spread of a mysterious new arcade game appearing in a few locations around Portland, Oregon. The game was called Polybius. It featured mesmerizing, abstract visuals and fast-paced gameplay that combined puzzle and shooter elements. Unlike anything else on the market, Polybius allegedly drew long lines and induced strange behavior. Players reportedly suffered from seizures, nightmares, memory loss, and even suicidal thoughts. Arcade owners claimed that government agents, described as Men in Black, came to collect data from the machines. Then, without warning, the machines vanished. No cabinets were recovered. No records from the game's alleged manufacturer, Sinneslotion, a German-sounding name meaning sensory deletion, were ever verified. Despite countless investigations, no physical evidence of Polybius has ever surfaced. Historians suspect the legend grew from a mix of truth and myth. At least 2 confirmed arcade-related incidents occurred in Portland in 1981. One player collapsed after a long session of Tempest, a game known for its intense visuals. In another case, a machine was seized by federal agents during an illegal gambling bust. These real events may have blended into a compelling myth. Still, the legend of Polybius persists. It has inspired horror films, fan games, documentaries, and even appearances in shows like The Simpsons and Loki. Some believe it was an MK Ultra-style government experiment. Others call it an elaborate hoax born from forum culture in the early 2000s. Regardless of its origin, Polybius is the perfect digital ghost story, just plausible enough to keep us looking over our shoulders. In the end, whether it's a serial killer exploiting the dawn of the internet, a network of digital criminals pushing global systems to the brink, or a game that may never have existed, these stories remind us of something fundamental. The digital world isn't separate from the real one.
Greetings, mortals. Tonight we journey deep into the haunted forests, where shadows whisper and the trees remember. This is Into the Woods, Volume 3.